5-1 to Hungary, but the team is well prepared for the challenge. Goalkeeper Joshua Enahlo said he will not dwell on his mistakes against Brazil as his focus is now on Thursday's game against North Korea. The team will have their final training for the Korea match on Wednesday morning. The Confederation of African Football has appointed former FIFA Executive Committee member Amos Adamu as member of the organizing committee for the African Cup of Nations for the period of 2015 to 2017. Dr. Adamu was also a former Director General of the National Sports Commission and served in the committee that also includes President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick. Meanwhile, CAF has also appointed former Director General of the National Sports Commission, Mr. Benga Elegbeleye, into the disciplinary board of the Confederation. Former NFF Presidents Dominic Onea, Sani Lulu, and Aminu Meigari are on the Interclub of Competitions Club Licensing System and Organizing Committee for the African Nations Championship. New York Cosmos' Giovanni Salvarez can't wait to face the Cuban national team side in an exhibition game tomorrow. Cosmos hits the training field in Havana ahead of the historic match, the first by a major American football club since 1978. The match is part of the step taken to normalize relations between the former Cold War foes 3 months after the President Barack Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro vowed to restore diplomatic ties severed 54 years ago. Brazilian soccer superstar Pelé is also in Havana for the historic match, as well as European stars such as Spain's Raul Gonzalez.
As the New York Cosmos to be here, we feel, privileged that after so many years, we have the chance to come here in Cuba to unite the people through the sport. We know that soccer is growing so much in Cuba, and we hope that it's a great game tomorrow for everybody here to have a great night.
With that story, it's a wrap from the world of sports.
It's also the end of News Track. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani.
And I'm Kaidi Alanade. Bye for now.
Welcome to the Channels TV app for the Android Home platform. Click on the Channels TV icon to get started. Get the latest news and stories. That's not all. We have the Eyewitness section. So to do that, click on Post, select Change Media to send an image or video, enter your username, report title, and report description. Click on the post icon and your message will be delivered and could be used if it's newsworthy. Channels TV app for the Android phone platform. The news at your fingertips.
Hello and welcome to the World Today. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. Coming up on the program, 5 people die and hundreds are missing after a cruise ship with more than 450 people on board capsizes on China's Yangtze River. Ministers from 20 countries meet in Paris to discuss ways to step up the fight against Islamic State militants. And the United Nations condemns South Sudan's decision to expel the UN humanitarian coordinator, Toby Lanza. A boat carrying 458 people is capsized on the Yangtze River in China's Hubei province, leaving at least 5 people dead and hundreds missing. Officials say 14 people have been rescued, with some found alive inside the upside-down hull of the vessel. The boat, the Eastern Star, reportedly sent no emergency signal. The alarm was raised by those who had swum to shore. The captain and the chief engineer, who both survived, have been detained.
Rescuers bring a 65-year-old woman ashore after a passenger ship carrying 458 people capsized on China's Yangtze River in what could be one of China's worst disasters for years. Rescuers are still working in bad weather to save 5 more passengers trapped inside the hull of the ship that capsized late on Monday. 5 bodies have now been recovered and only about a dozen people rescued so far from the 4-decked tourist boat amid confusing reports about how many people have been saved. Meanwhile, family members of passengers wait for news of their loved ones in Shanghai.
Yesterday at 5 p.m., just after 5 p.m., I called them. They said it was going well. My mom said it was going well. She said, "Just take care of yourself." I never imagined this. If I had known, I would have talked to her for longer on the phone. My dad didn't pick up my phone call. I feel so guilty. I feel so guilty.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered that no efforts be spared in rescue work, and Premier Li Keqiang has visited the scene of the accident in central Hubei province. The captain and the chief engineer of the Eastern Star, who were among the few to be rescued, have been detained by police for questioning. Among those on board the ship were 406 tourists aged from around 50 to 80 on a tour organized by a Shanghai tour group and 47 crew members.
Now, the VOA's Bureau Chief in Beijing, China, Bill Eid, joins me live on the World Today via Skype. You're welcome to the World Today, Bill.
Good to be with you.
Now, can you tell me what more do we know about the ship that capsized on Monday, the casualty figure, the number of those rescued so far?
Well, like the report pointed out, there's been a lot of fluctuation. At this point, at least 14, 15 have been rescued. Throughout the day, there have been efforts to reach more who are believed to be trapped inside, and we saw today at least 3 who were pulled from the ship. At one point they cut into the hull and were able to get a couple of the elderly passengers out. But as far as how and when they're going to reach the others inside and whether or not how long they can stay on. We don't know much about